Members of the Senate observing a 2-minute silence in honor of aid worker Hauwa, who was reportedly executed by Boko Haram insurgents.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues.
This followed a motion raised by the Deputy Senate President, Senator Ike Ekweremadu.
You also recall that one of our own colleagues was also killed in September in similar circumstance. She too, an aid worker. So one of our prayers is that this time, instead of observing 1 minute silence, we should be able to observe 2 minutes silence over the death of these young people. And I believe that we have to send our condolences and heartfelt sympathy to their families and, of course, to the international community and the rest of mankind.
After the short debate that followed, the Senate resolved to pay a condolence visit to the family of the deceased. The lawmakers also resolved to ensure that the federal government, through its security agencies, take necessary measures to secure the freedom of both Leah Sharibu and the other surviving aid worker being held hostage by the insurgents.
Of the abductees.
In the House of Representatives, a similar motion was considered.
It is unfortunate to note that despite the negotiation initiated by the government for the self-release of these innocent Nigerians, the Boko Haram set decided to toe the path of tragic execution of 2 of the captives.
If we don't know the causes of this and be able to nip them in the bud, it will continue to reoccur.
We must begin to exercise the powers that we have. The primary function of any government, including all of us seated here, that the present government under President Muhammad Buhari, having failed to take care of these issues of insecurity, not only in sections of this country, but in the entire country, that the time has come for him to honorably resign, because that is his primary function.
The lawmakers are urging the executive to, as a matter of urgency, commence further negotiation for the safe release of the women who are still being held captive by the insurgents. They also want the government to intensify efforts in collaborating with other countries to acquire advanced technology that can help in the fight against terrorism. Landray Lasese, Channels Television News.
And that's where we're keeping our focus this morning. Unfortunately, those abductions and killings perpetrated by Boko Haram, which we saw just a couple of days back, and to help us have a better understanding of what happened and what transpired and what could have been done, is Colonel Hassan Stan-Labo, retired security analyst to my immediate right, and to my extreme right is Emmanuel Mock, the former chairman, National Transformation Party. Thank you so much indeed, gentlemen, for coming on Sunrise Daily with me here. But let me get your thoughts. When this broke, that Lehman was killed, how did it cut across to you?
I must say I really felt taken aback, because frankly I did not expect that they would go to this extent, because I felt probably whatever their demands were, we were probably going to meet up with them. But then I also came to the quick understanding that, look, the demands may have been something which may see us again recycling the past. And what do I mean by recycling the past? A situation where we had paid or alleged to have paid huge ransoms for the release of our citizens from the insurgents, only for us to experience within 1 or 2 months a heightened, form of attack again from the terrorists. And of course, it was glaringly clear that we had provided the means for them to acquire equipment and beef up their inventory. And we are now seeing the results on our citizens again. So I think government became a bit wary, or felt there was a need to tread with some caution, more so given the amount of, public attack that had gone on to government concerning the last releases that went on. You see, it's neither here nor there, but the point remains that the carrot and stick approach which government is being engaging as far as these negotiations are concerned, I would say we should maintain it, but we should be able to protect our citizens as much as we can by addressing whatever may be the internal or inherent deficits within the military and the police law enforcement agencies.
Emmanuel Mock, you look a little depressed, unfortunately, so I can understand where you're coming from, but this has happened.
Yeah.
But how did the news hit you? Did you feel that there was something that we could have done much better, as Colonel Sambo says?
Yes, I sincerely hold the government completely responsible because we have a properly organized security system, military, army, air force. The same force that organized Python dance across 5 states in the southeast to deal with the agitation for Biafra cannot organize something like Python dance to mop up. You know, when I got invited for this, I just read a bit about this Boko Haram insurgency and its growth. And one of the international reports of American security organization was the fact that Boko Haram had been decimated, but somehow have remained a reasonable threat